Hey, what's up y'all? I'm back with another video. As you're probably familiar, I'm no stranger to covering gathering profession-based gold making methods, and this video is going to be no exception. See, with the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft event currently unfolding, and with tons of people going to classic open world zones, I found myself farming content in places that haven't seen footfall in so long that there was a thick layer of dust that had settled on top of the ground. Of these farming sessions, a handful of Herbalism based farming locations really stood out to me, and in this video, I'm going to be giving a brief overview of the herbs, the routes, as well as other things that you can expect while farming. From the dense jungles of Herbalism all the way to the open plains of the Arathi Highlands, this is how you can be making millions of gold in retail World of Warcraft with these 3 classic Herbalism farms. That being said, let's just get right into the video. The first farm that I wanted to cover is a pretty well documented one, but not for the reason that you may expect, and it's located here in Winterspring on Kalimdor. The farm is most well known for being one of, if not the greatest location for farming thorium, maybe just short of the Swamp of Sorrows, but I found that it's also a great place to be farming Mountain Silver Sage. At the time of recording this video, Mountain Silver Sage is currently listing for an average of around 9 gold and 22 silver, which is pretty impressive, especially for an herb located in a zone as documented as Winterspring. For this farm, I would recommend farming with dual gathering, seeing as you're going to want to also mine any rich thorium nodes that you may encounter, for the chance of looting arcane crystals, an uncommon quality reagent which can be found by mining thorium nodes. The arcane crystals on their own tend to list for anywhere between 220 and 250 gold at any given time, at least on US realms, meaning that if you're able to consistently farm them while also farming your Mountain Silver Sage, it can make for great additional income, seeing as they're required to make Elementium bars used in the recipe for the legendary Sulfuron Hand of Ragnaros weapon from classic World of Warcraft. For this farm, you're going to want to follow this pretty simple route in order to maximize the amount of Mountain Silver Sage nodes that you're going to be hitting, as well as happen to meander upon thorium nodes for those sweet, juicy arcane crystals. Farming this route for an hour typically yields me around 1,200 different materials for a pretty solid 18,000 gold per hour. While this rate itself may not be very impressive, especially when compared to the likes of max level farms or through other means, this can make for a great beginner level gold farm, meaning that even if you're brand new to farming gold, you won't have any issues making a decent amount of starting capital to begin your gold making adventures. The next farm that I wanted to cover is a less documented one, but still pretty well known, and it's going to be farming Blindweed around Jademere Lake, located here in Herbalism. This farm is pretty simple, doing loops around the lake gathering all of the herbs that you see until your eyes become bloodshot. Now, while this may be the best place for farming Blindweed in the game, there is also a second, more sinister thing that you can be farming around the lake while waiting for Blindweed nodes to respawn, and it's farming the noxious whelps around the lake for the chance of obtaining the Emerald Whelpling pet, a dragonkin battle pet that sees regular lists for anywhere between 250,000 and 500,000 gold at just about any given time across US realms, which is a pretty fat chunk of cheddar, at least in my professional opinion. But what do I know? I only farmed and opened 1,000 heavy junk boxes for a 4-minute video. At the time of this video, Blindweed is currently listing for an average of 11 gold and 42 silver, which is actually a pretty impressive rate, especially for a classic herb that no one cares about. Farming around Jademere Lake for an hour yielded me over 1,300 items for a total gold per hour rate of around 40,000 gold per hour, 17,000 gold of which coming from Blindweed alone. Now, while this is a pretty impressive rate, especially compared to the likes of the Mountain Silver Sage farm, most of the gold per hour that you're looking towards comes from transmog, and if you haven't been paying attention to the video in the comment sections of half my videos, transmog isn't the most reliable source of gold per hour rates, unless you're me of course, in which transmog is essentially as good as guaranteed gold, since I'm built different and money comes to me like moths to a flame, but hey, it's just a skill issue I suppose. I personally would recommend farming Blindweed, just because it's a trade good that you're looking to make a pretty decent chunk of change from, as well as for the chance of obtaining the Emerald Whelpling Battle Pet, since its price tag is just too insane to overlook, and I'm one of gambling's strongest soldiers. The last farm that I wanted to share in this video is probably the least documented one in the entire video, seeing as it's in a classic zone that is rarely visited. Seeing as it was reworked during the Battle for Azeroth expansion, farming Goldthorn in the Arathi Highlands. Unlike the previous two farms in the video, all the gold that you're looking to make from this farm comes from the Goldthorn itself. I personally wouldn't recommend farming the iron ore or other herbs around the zone, seeing as the prices generally aren't worth the extra effort that you're taking to divert your path away from those sweet and juicy Goldthorn nodes. The route that I typically take is pretty simple and yields me the most amount of Goldthorn per hour possible, at least from what I've been able to tell. At the time of writing the script for this video, Goldthorn itself is currently listing for an extremely solid 27 gold and 49 silver each, which is a better rate than most herbs that you can currently find throughout the entire game, apart from the specialty herbs in max level zones for the most part. Farming my route for an hour typically yields me around 850 to 900 herbs per hour, for a pretty impressive 31,000 gold per hour off the Goldthorn alone, which is an insane rate for an herb added to the game over 20 years ago. As far as beginner level gold farming goes, this is one that is so beginner friendly and so viable that you've been able to profit off it for the better part of 2 decades, which only goes to show how reliable the gold farm is, as well as proves that it may even continue to hold its weight another 2 decades from now, even with the ever-changing gold making economy. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Personally, I believe these 3 gold farms to be more than worth investing a decent amount of time into, especially if you're a beginner gold farmer looking to either make some decent good starting capital, or a seasoned veteran looking for a nice change in scenery. The farms themselves are extremely easy to follow, and have been proven to be worthwhile even 20 years after their introduction, so you're going to always be able to fall back on them, even in an ever-changing economy. Like I've been saying in all of my videos recently, my Discord server is officially open, the link of which you can find at the end of a short PowerPoint presentation down in the description below, so feel free to hop in and show off pictures of you killing Drakthir and Volpera, since I love seeing content like that. I'd also like to mention that my guild, The Guy, is currently recruiting for high-end PvE content, as well as guild activities such as posting up in largely populated areas, as well as general activities and remaining nonchalant during high-pressure situations. And if you'd like to join, feel free to join my Discord or shoot Bonesaw or I a message in-game so that we can deliberate on your acceptance. I'd also like to mention that I have officially joined social media for once, so feel free to follow me. Or don't. I don't care. I'm just a chill guy for real chill. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, peace.
Thank you.